Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. We're here today doing some more good old-fashioned Titanfall 2 live commentary goodness. Unfortunately, we joined a match in progress because that stuff kind of happens. But fortunately, because attrition matches are so long, we've still got about 7 minutes on the clock and a pretty decent chunk of time. So this should make for a pretty snappy, good commentary for your Tuesday. Now, there's quite a few things I wanted to talk about, and in all honesty, I wasn't even going to play Titanfall 2 today, but Iniquity said so. Iniquity was like, Tony, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? And then he didn't answer me, but I knew when I looked deep inside of his eyes. I had seen that look before, that he was wondering why I hadn't played Titanfall 2, why I hadn't posted a video on the channel. And so I decided to do just that today. Now, I may be bending the truth or, in fact, making that entire story up, but the reality is it's totally a plausible thing. Iniquity would definitely say something like that, and I've seen his eyes before. When you look deep inside the eyes of the one they call Iniquity, you end up finding Titanfall 2. So let's kill this guy standing behind the A wall in the very inconvenient place for him. And let's talk a little bit about some things that have been happening with the channel and Twitch. In case you guys have realized, definitely not uploading every single day anymore. I still plan to do live commentaries like this one and live commentaries in other games as well moving into the future. Pretty much when it comes to YouTube, all my dedication is going to be on turning the weekly into something more special. I've been looking at camera upgrades and, really trying to make that the show I've always wanted to make it. One of the earliest creators that I watched when I started watching stuff on YouTube was Angry Video Game Nerd. Like everybody, James, Mike, Bootsy eventually, Ryan eventually, everything that they've been doing with that channel for a very long time. And I always wanted to have that sort of atmosphere with the channel, with a project of my own, just something that really embraces a love for video games, even if that love for video games is showcased by highlighting the ones that really suck in their case, So that's really what the show is going to be for me, and that's the direction I'm always going to be pushing that. Something larger, something that's less about short videos and more about just creating something that I love, something that does indeed put my skills to the test when it comes to editing and creation, but something I think that I'll really enjoy doing. And rather than trying to make videos like that happen every day, I can focus on working on that throughout the week and have it be something big that launches on Friday. So really excited about that. But outside of that, I'm going all in on Twitch. I've been streaming for the last 2 weeks now full time, starting at 10 a.m., pushing for 6 to 8 hour streams. And, I'm loving it. For me, it's like just something I need to do. It's something I should do, and it's something that I absolutely need to take a chance at. When you are starting out new as a creator or as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things you end up asking yourself is like, well, what do I want to do? Like if you made a YouTube channel for the very first time, you might ask yourself, what do I want to do? What game do I want to play? What type of content do I want to make? And the most important thing that you can do for yourself and for your success long term is to not get caught up in the I only have this much time, and like if I don't do this and if I'm not successful with this in the next year, 3, 5, 6 years, then you just keep second guessing yourself and you never end up taking the risks. And I could just sit here on YouTube and keep doing the same thing I was doing, and again, not take any risks over on Twitch and not try to change up the content I'm producing on YouTube. I could do that and just stay in that little comfy place and not really see any sort of progression or growth and not really take those risks. Or I could do what I'm going to do and, take that chance to try something new and stop worrying so much about, oh, but I got this far in this amount of time. And, how long is it going to take me to get this? How long is it going to take me to start new with Twitch? Just do it, man. Just do it. Even if it takes 5 years, what's that? What's 5 years to get someplace you really want to be rather than staying in the same place you were and watching things slowly get stale and die out and never getting to where you want it to be. That's the biggest mistake that people make. It's the whole analogy of if I would have planted that apple tree, 5 years ago, I'd have an apple tree with apples on it. Don't wait, just do it and stop worrying so much about how much time it can take and just make it happen. Work with it, right? That's what you got to do. So that's exactly what I'm doing with Twitch. And again, with pursuing a bigger project with the weekly. It's all things that I'm very excited about, and I hope you guys will be excited about it moving into the future as well. There will still always be, little gaming videos like this, live commentaries. That stuff's easy to produce. It doesn't require a lot of time on my effort. I don't have to put a bunch of time in editing. I can just make it happen. So there'll still be plenty of that. We're way down at the bottom of the leaderboard here, but that's what happens when you join a match super late, guys. Now, I did want to talk briefly on the whole EA acquiring Respawn thing. A lot of people have been asking me about this. I was going to make an entire video on it, but really, I just have one thing to say. Best of luck to Respawn. I think they've been in the industry for quite some time now. I like to think that they know what is a good decision for their company, Vince, you know, and everything I've seen from Vince and everybody at Respawn has been really positive with this whole scenario. A lot of what Vince talked about was simply the fact that Respawn has given them the freedom. Sorry, EA has given Respawn the freedom to do the things they wanted to do in the past, and they feel that this is going to be a good partnership, one that gives them access to a lot of resources to move Titanfall and other franchises, other projects they're working on well into the future, and I hope that's exactly what happens. I hope they're able to keep kicking ass with Titanfall and maybe even make Titanfall 3 a bigger and more badass and more accessible to the masses game than Titanfall 2 ever was. You know, I really look forward to the future of all their projects, and again, I'm gonna leave it at that. I could sit here and I could bitch and moan all day long about EA, and everyone's already done that, and frankly, I don't want to hear it, so why would I want to make you guys hear it? And just hope that Respawn has made the most educated decision they can, which, by the way, is far more educated than any decision you and I could ever make, considering we don't work in the video games industry. They do. I'm not going to act like I know better than Respawn does, better than a studio that is full of veterans that have been doing this, that have gone through a lot of shit with other publishers in the past, by the way. Everything that Vince went through with Activision, you know, they've seen this before. So if they feel it's the right step forward, if they feel that EA is going to continue to give them the freedom to make the games they want to make the way they want to make them, then I'm going to put my trust in them. And at the very least, I look forward to their new projects and seeing exactly how it all pans out. I hope you guys will do the same as well. You know, enough of the whole doom and gloom, like, oh, death of Respawn was grossly exaggerated, considering we just know nothing about the partnership. You know, any chance to make some sad news, right? That's how humans function, unfortunately. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that for you guys. We didn't really get to have a really good drawn-out match here. Hopefully, next time we drop live commentary for Titanfall 2, we'll actually join a match in progress. But unfortunately, that is one of the downsides of these longer matches. I've joined more matches in progress than I have in a very long time because of the length of the matches. And I know a lot of you guys like that because it gives you more opportunity to pwn face. But it's got its downsides. Let me know your thoughts if you feel like leaving behind what you want to say about Respawn being purchased by EA. I know most of you guys are just going to be like, ugh. EA. EA. And if I'm honest, the only really part of me that was sad when I heard the news was that I kind of always felt Respawn would be sort of a middle market developer down the road. You know, they do much of what CD Projekt has been able to do and just kind of hang out on their own, because I do feel the middle market needs to make a return. And I always thought they'd be a perfect developer to kind of sit in that spot and be able to produce games like Titanfall in the future, do them the way they want to do them, and not necessarily be concerned about Titanfall 3 having as many players as Overwatch or Call of Duty. Just be able to make the projects they want to make, and if there's only 7,000 people playing those games months, you know, a year after release, then, you know, so be it. They got to make the game they wanted to make, and hopefully the game that the community wanted to play. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you throughout the week for some more live commentaries, and Friday for another episode of the Weekly. Catch me on Twitch. All the information you need is right down in the description and the pinned comment below. Live at 10 a.m. EST, running for about 6 to 8 hours. And as always, remember to play smart, remember to play to challenge yourself, but most importantly, remember to play for fun.